Thank you very much, Annette. Yes, as said, these wonderful people that will be joining me on stage are the people that made this whole conference possible. So firstly, I would like to invite Marile Hendrikson. And then David Evans, will you please join me as well? Woo. And finally, Frank Schubert. So first off, I would like to discuss what has happened in the past 2 days at the event and perhaps maybe share some future outlooks. And this is really the program committee that made this event possible, and these are the people most suitable to actually discuss what to maybe expect next year as well. So firstly, I would like to hear your opinion on what have been the highlights of the past 2 days. So let's go with Marile first.
Really? Oh, I would like to pass it on, actually. I would really like to hear what the guys are saying. So,
all right, let's start.
Can I?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start from Frank then. And
there's no one on that side to pass it on. Take it. My highlight has been that one could actually really gather a comprehensive view on cybersecurity that made the challenges visible on Estonian, European, and even global level. Right? Space business has a global impact, and we touched during this conference. I'd argue all aspects related to space and cybersecurity in this present and future software-defined world. And that's really the highlight for me. So the focus of the conference is really broad, right? I learned many things. I'm active in the defense and the aerospace security fields. Still, I don't know everything on policies, social aspects, data exchange. So I could learn a lot here. This is my highlight.
All right, thanks, David.
Yeah, I mean, I don't come to conferences to just learn things that I already know. You know, I think that's the point. So even though it's nice to have them confirmed, and it was confirmed to me that software is becoming more and more important in space, firmware, updating firmware, etc. And it was nice to see this is happening, and with it comes this a sort of synergy with terrestrial software, and this is going to happen. And it was nice to see this definitely happening. And then this brings cybersecurity problems. Okay, that's the first thing. But that wasn't the highlight. That's just what was interesting for me is to see the other things. So I mean, one was space warfare. So I found the program, the talk fascinating. I've seen space warfare discussions before, and it was all Star Wars. Yeah, things I just sat there and said, oh yeah, really. And this was the first time I really saw some honest, I have to give a lot of credit to the people. They gave really honest appraisal about what actually happens on the battlefield and what these threats are and things like this. And it was really good. Maybe it's because the Ukraine war has happened. People are now focused on this, and I found that absolutely fascinating. There's one. And the other one was policy. So, law. So again, I don't get to talk to lawyers very often, and for the first time, I really understood that what the only levers we have vis-a-vis commercial players is actually imposing some sort of regulation via law and making them liable for different things. I know this works. I worked in industry for 10 years. And that was also very interesting to see how that works, what the potential levers are from the government point of view to make sure that cybersecurity is taken seriously, because these commercial guys are putting up infrastructure which is more and more important to all of us. And I thought this was really fantastic. Okay.
Very good. Yes, thank you. So my takeaways from the whole journey of being with the program committee, starting from this spring, has been really eye-opening, and especially now when the event brings all the topics on table in a short period. My realizations were that our several panels put together made out a very nice picture. We tackled the different questions from different angles, and it worked out nicely. I got a really strong understanding and refreshed understanding that the market size within space in cyber is really huge. There are several other realization points also. For example, that the civilian space landscape and the military should have more cooperation, because there are lots of learnings to do, but it needs to be somehow connected so that the benefit will be also very transparent. What I also realized was that the community is the key word. At least this is my impression, and coming from the startup community, so perhaps it's the obvious answer, but really this is something that I would like to put on a table as a task or goal for next year, to really start thinking how to be more regular and systematic about building the space cybersecurity community, because it was said also on a stage that we don't have a space cybersecurity engineering education. This means, but as there is a cap and there is a technology lag or years in between until the secure technology will be there, then we need to fulfill this gap somehow. How to do it? So I guess we have ideas at least to discuss. So these were my takeaways so far.
Perfect. You guys wrapped up my ideas as well, really neat manner. But why is it really that important to hold these kind of events? Like, why should we also organize it next year? Let's maybe go in the same direction, starting from Frank.
I see the importance and the relevance on two aspects, right? There's a technical side to it and there's a people side to it. And on the technical side, we see adjacent technologies like cloud, 5G, 6G, which will not be, or which even are not anymore adjacent anymore. They are converging towards the topics that we are discussing here. And this will become more and more prevalent even in the future. So this conference found a niche, and since these topics on technologies that will grow into the space domain, cyber and electromagnetic activities, as we have seen yesterday, will play an important role, which we only caught a glimpse of it, what will happen in the future. This will be most relevant in the future. And on the people side, we've heard it during the past 2 days, there's education missing. We achieved, I think the cybersecurity community achieved to raise awareness for the topics. We heard security by design made its way into future missions almost itself, luckily. But the education, there's no university curriculum on aerospace security. So this is where still we need to make awareness in the future and work on it, that this will happen at some point in time.
Right, perfect.
Yeah, I think this conference is quite special. And if you'd have asked me, I went to the one last year, and for me, cybersecurity was a sort of an abstract concept. Maybe even a hassle if somebody was going to put requirements on me as an operator to do things which I didn't really believe in, etc. And this conference gives you this overall view that no, it's not abstract, it's real, and there are different components to it. And I liked this quote from Karl Marx about what shall we do now, and this conference gives you a very good idea of what you could potentially do. Even it's not me doing it, but there are potential solutions, I think, that we've almost hashed out on the stage of things, practical steps that could be done in all the different areas. We took education, but also cyber ranges or policy, and I think this is unique. It's not about people sitting here and selling their products. It's more about trying to, a wide range of issues being discussed which have relevance to each and every one of us.
Yeah, I also support that the discussion should go on and grow. What the trends I would like to see is that the practical solutions and spreading ideas about the practical solution is important. I had another idea more, but now it's gone already. Perhaps it will come back. The idea is that cybersecurity is demystified also among larger population. Spaces also. They both have a different auras, let's say so. Space, then you mean explorer, they go far, they are brave, and so on. So, and now the opportunity on the table, when we combine the two, the ones know how to solve the security issues in and with existing infrastructure, and the other one know how to be very innovative. When we put the two and two together, our task could be that let's invent solution where the complexity will not raise, because this is the pitfall that we have, right? Or it could be there. So we are living in turbulent times, and we need the really innovative solutions. That could be marvelous.
All right. Yeah, that's perfect. But have you perhaps discovered some new ideas from the past 2 days that we've had that you want to maybe take home or suggest for the next year's conference? Frank?
Hearing also from the other contributors that education is actually like a really dominant topic that's where we could work on. What we might could do is define a technical track, right? To leave it maybe with the panels, try to dive into certain topics, and maybe even run workshops, right? We could run workshops with in schools to like raise interest, and we could run workshops with universities at conferences to really get the younger generation into the topic. It's not just about flying and creating spacecraft. It's about bringing this together with all the other aspects. Like there's always like the data, of course, and cybersecurity must have the same value, right? The same priority for any product, for any mission, for any service that's being implemented. So focus on like really educating the next generation on these topics. That would be the focus.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, as I said, the idea that the terrestrial networks and the space networks are getting closer and closer together is an interesting one, because I would like to see more people here that deal with these terrestrial problems, because they have more resources. They've probably already solved the problems or some of the problems, and it would be good to invite them, to maybe it's not preaching to us, but there'll be some synergy there that to see how they are solving the problems and doing it. On OPSAT, we had a bank, one of the biggest online traders in Frankfurt, right, in Europe, but they're based in Frankfurt, Flatex de Giro, and they did an experiment with us, which was successful. And at the next, I talked to the CEO and said, what do we do next? And he said straight away, cybersecurity. Let's do a cybersecurity experiment. And I said, it's a bit strange, And he said, no, we have something called a cyber NATO, was the name they give it. But NATO just means that it's not military. It's just because they have people cooperating. They called it NATO, of all the German banks together, dealing with this problem as one, sharing information, sharing training, sharing stories. And this could be, and he said, I'd like to see this expanded to other industries, because we all have a similar problem to solve. Yeah? And together we could be much stronger. And I think this would be a great addition to see if, explore that and see if there are other industries that want to cooperate, and we could all benefit from this together.
I strongly support. And I think that the examples go very nicely under the keyword community building.
Yeah. Yes, it's you got there first.
Well, the community from where we can learn, from where we actually know people, from where we can approach people and say, David, I have a problem. I have a problem. So that would be ideal.
All right, yeah. But to really wrap up the conference, let's hit itty and gritty. What could have been done better? What could be better next year? Would you perhaps like to see more business-to-business interactions, more maybe private sector involvement? Let's also do the tour de table, starting from Frank.
If you want to start this time. I do have ideas and many areas where we can improve ourselves. I see a lot of progress already with this event, but still, one progress is that we have a program committee, so many people on board who can have access to give their input. And then we had the shout out for presentations. This is also an opportunity to deliver your own voice to the bigger audience. Next year, I think that we should keep the way that we will not have the commercial presentations. That isn't our style. But something hands-on, really practical, something that you can something simple, what you can build or touch or do, and you will go home with a wow effect that now I know how to do that. So that would be a thing for me.
Yeah, I fully agree. So something which I don't really like to sit in conferences and listen to commercial presentations one after the other, but I do like it if somebody's got like something real to show, like a demonstration, videos, something you can interact with, and when we had the presentation about the cyber ranges, then I thought, why isn't anybody showing me a cyber range, I mean, just put it on the video, I don't even know what one looks like, how could one use this and show it? And perhaps it's not a good, format for it, but outside, I'd love to see what you do on a cyber range and, follow procedure and see what's happening, for instance, as examples. A lot of demos, would be great. Something, like a wow factor, would be good, and also good to pull people in, of course. Frank?
Yeah, so the relevance is here, that's clear for the topics. Also, the quality was really good of the panels, of the discussions, right? So what we could work on is on the outreach, actually, let it grow, right? I don't know how many participants there were, but since it's such an important topic, the conference, it's sort of a niche, but not really, right? It's also has very broad implications. We could try to spread the word and let the conference grow for the future. Yeah,
that's great. We have exactly 1 minute to spare. So I will take the chance to actually thank the program committee who couldn't make it here today, sadly. The other members, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has come to Tallinn, come to this conference, and I don't know which camera should I look in, but hello to you there too, and thank you for watching us. And with that, I would like to wrap up and give the floor back to Anette.